much as though I want it all. Give it to me. Absolutely. This? No, this is just behind the scenes. That's why we don't record it. Oh, no, Christ. Fuck it. That's a shame. You. All right, man. Have you seen the show before or no? Oh, fantastic. All right. Nothing. All right. Sounds about right. It sounds like you've done podcasting before. Nice. I know. I'm starting my own family with hookers and blackjack. Let's fire it up. I'm rolling it now. Ready?
Subscribe to Simply Bitcoin.
It reminds me of Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. If he dies, he dies.
All right, everybody. Welcome into another episode, test stream of the Meme Factory podcast. This evening, what
did you just say? Did you just say welcome in to another? You should say welcome to.
No, welcome in. I'm welcoming them in.
Okay.
Welcome in.
This is not an English-speaking podcast.
I mean, I'm speaking English. Broken.
Did you click record? I don't think you've clicked record because this thing hasn't told me it's recording.
It hasn't told you it's recording? Oh.
It's because we're streaming.
It's a live stream, man. Right, it's a live stream. You're talking to the world.
It's the soft,
Mr.
the soft scope plugin.
You can watch it live on Grindr.
You are now recording.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay, that's better.
That's better. Now we're good.
Nice job, Sean. That was actually
Thank
really
you.
good.
Saved us. All right, so this evening we got Aleks Svetsky. Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Ooh, okay. I am I was gonna say terrorist, but maybe I shouldn't go down that path because we may well get fucking canceled. I just realized this is being live streamed. Anyway, I am from the gulags in Australia, and I'm a refugee, and I'm seeking asylum as we speak. Anywhere other than that country. So I've been traveling for a couple of years, but most people know me from the writing that I do. I originally started writing on my own blog, and that's kind of how I got on the circuit. But really where most of my time has gone over the last 4 or 5 years has been in building a Bitcoin product, which was pretty much the first Bitcoin DCA product in the world. The whole premise was that I spent 10, 11, 12 years trying to beat the market, trading options, warrants, derivatives, and all sorts of shit like a fucking idiot, when all I had to do was put $10 a week aside in Amazon, and I would have been a millionaire. So, I decided that maybe I can help some people avoid the stupidities and the mistakes that I made, with something even more important, obviously, than Amazon, which is Bitcoin. And so yeah, I built this product called Amber, which was a dollar cost averaging app. Well, I say it was like it's dead. I mean, it is. It's there still. You may download it if you want to. So yeah, and then I was previously on Twitter until a member of this group got me banned.
That was your fault.
But, I mean, I think you should just take responsibility for it.
I mean,
we live in a communist world at the moment, so really, my fault is your fault.
Right. God damn it. Okay.
We're all in this together.
It's Dua Lipa's fault. It's Dua Lipa's fault. It's Dua Lipa's fault.
It's your fault, Greg.
It's your fault.
Dua Lipa's hot.
Yeah, fuck you.
Dua Lipa's hot.
Fuck you.
We're not gonna talk. There will be no bad mouthing Dua Lipa on this episode.
Well, it gets you banned anyway.
Don't censor Svetsky, Sean.
Yeah,
Speaking of not Spencer,
let me breathe. Let me insult people. So anyway, yeah. So
can I live? Right.
long story short is, yeah, I do my best to troll people on Twitter, get banned when I can, make new accounts when I can. I write. I try and do software stuff with Amber. I don't cut code. I just tell people what to do and hope that they do it. And what else do I do? Oh yeah, and I have a fucking podcast on the side. Why not? So that's the main thing. Oh, and actually, sorry, the thing that I enjoy the most is the Bitcoin Times thing that I'm doing. That's like a publication that I do once a year with what I consider to be like the best fucking brains in Bitcoin. So
thank you for having me. Thank you for having me 5 times.
Where's my invite?
Wait, we're only up to edition 4, but yeah, we've had you 5 times anyway. So. Do you know what? I was actually arguing with someone earlier today where, this is a real conversation. He was looking at this tub of protein collagen that I bought, and the scoop size is 10 grams, and it has 9 grams of collagen in it. And the guy, he was like, mine's got 12 grams. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's probably because the scoop is bigger. He's like, no, it's a 10-gram scoop. I was like, you can't have 12 grams of protein in a 10-gram scoop. I was like, yes, you can. And he actually fucking believed it. And he owns Bitcoin, which is even more terrifying.
We need those guys too.
Yeah.
Was it overflowing?
Yeah, did he round out the scoop? Or did he flatten the scoop?
I don't fucking know what's going on. And I mean, at this point, maybe in 2022, that's what happens.
The scoop went hyperbolic. That's the word.
Maybe, yeah. Like it followed the stock to flow model.
Yeah.
Was there inflation? Was there inflation in this scoop? Accounting for that?
I think so. It was Jerome Powell's scoop. With
okay.
If it followed stock to flow, though, it would have broke already. So I think if it's still holding protein.
Broke to the downside.
I wasn't.
Hey, there's still hope, okay? We can still turn back time. We can go back to December 31st and we can be at 100K. There is still time.
Okay.
Guys, 300K is still on the table for 2021.
Still on the table.
It's only 8%, man.
What?
What?
It's only 8%. No, it's 7% today. Next week it's 8%.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right,
Are we
Svetsky.
talking about like
Inflation?
protein inflation? Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right, so
Okay. Anyway.
are you telling me?
That's me.
That's you.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
All right. So how we make the big bucks on this stream, and we make a shitload of money doing this, is we have sponsors that we've coerced into giving us their ads only because we say that our guests are going to read the ad copy. So
Okay.
I've sent you. You have access to your Twitter right now, your DMs. Can you look at them?
Hold on. Let me organize this.
Don't check mine. Don't check mine.
Yellow sending dudes.
Dude, stop.
Delete that.
No, you're sending dudes.
Oh. Okay. All right. I've got it.
Got it?
So you know what? Probably looking at my phone is not a good idea. Let me pull this up.
There you go.
because
Keep eye
I
contact
want to
with the
make sure
screen.
that
I like this.
Yeah.
He's taking this ad read.
He's taking
very
it
seriously.
Yes, he is.
Hey.
man, I gotta take this shit seriously. You know, like
Mhm.
if I'm gonna get a job with you guys, like only one way to do it.
You're halfway there already. I mean, you got banned from Twitter at least once.
At least I know. Wait, actually, who's got the most bans here? That'd be Labra, right?
That will be me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were going for
How
another
many
one
you
today.
on? How many you on, Labra? Just out of curiosity.
10 account. This is my 10th account.
Fucking congratulations. Wait, do you
Thank
know
you.
what? I've started a new little regime of whenever like meth heads or shitcoiners contact me like to talk to me, I ask them to deposit some Bitcoin. I swear to fucking Christ, a couple of them have already deposited some Bitcoin. It's the greatest thing ever. And then I block them.
Nice.
It's actually worked a couple of times, man. It's incredible. So the only reason I just realized this because I've got someone here called Ali Dean ETH who messaged me earlier today, and I said, "Yep, it's going to cost you some Bitcoin to talk with me." So I'm waiting on him to deposit so I can block him. Anyway, this is my new business:
That's
scamming.
scam the scammers.
Are you giving them an
You win.
invoice?
Scammers,
Are you giving them an invoice or just an address?
Just an address, fuck.
Okay, yeah. Let them choose.
On chain. That's it. Okay. All right. So is it time for my my news read? My ad roll.
Your ad roll, yeah. You don't get any percentage of the proceeds that we get from this, though.
That's all right. Communism. It's all good. That's how it works. So, hello everyone. It's me, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, author of the Gulag Archipelago and numerous other essays as featured on Bitcoin Magazine. Do you spend your mornings hating the productive world? I know I do. Are you dragging all day with brain fog and lethargy? Are you overwhelmed by the injustice of not getting all the stuff you need for free, forcing you to work for a living? Such an abomination. Well, the industrious folks at Make Them Blue Pharmaceuticals, a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, have a solution for you. Wake Up Pills are manufactured in our state-of-the-art Tyrant tent manufacturing facility in China using the latest and finest slave labor tactics you're already familiar with from all of your favorite brands. Wake Up Pills are made by using a combination of soy-based products that look and taste just like the real thing. I take them every day. They will put you to sleep 24/7, 365 when taken regularly, so you no longer have to make any decision for yourself. Your penis even works while taking them. As soon as you take your first dose, the pill signals to your Panopticon chip, which contacts your friendly local government to let them know you've decided to submit your agency to theirs. So don't dilly-dally, Sally. Turn the remnants of your hard-earned steamy check into pure medicinal gold and get woke with Wake Up Pills. If you call and get your prescription today, Make Them Blue Pharma, and throw in a free lobotomy and a subscription to Netflix, use the discount code What Would You Do for 5.25% off your initial purchase. This is Alexander Solzhenitsyn signing out and going back to the Gulag.
Get it?
You can get paid now.
I mean, I get paid.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
All right, so how much have
Do we
you...
have any more sponsors?
No, sponsors are done. Sponsors are done. That's it.
One is
I was enjoying
one is
it.
a lot.
Okay.
How much on average are these people sending you in Bitcoin, these scammers?
Oh, jack shit. It's kind of like, fucking 100. I've got a couple 100,000 sats out of the fuckers.
That's not bad.
which is not bad.
That's not bad at all.
I'll buy a fucking house with that shit one day.
Exactly.
That's more
I'll
than
be
what
like-
that ad read just paid us.
You're in the wrong business, bro. Start scamming scammers.
Scammers.
How much do you think the
I
scammer,
wonder
the
what
good
they feel
scammers,
like afterwards.
after they've sent you the money or after they've scammed somebody?
Yeah. No,
They're
after
like,
they send me the money.
they're like, so this is what it feels like.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm rebalancing it or if they just get angry and then go and scam more people, like as retribution. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm doing a world a net service or a net disservice. Need to think about this. Anyway, who knows? I'll donate that Bitcoin at some point, to maybe the charity of Svetsky or something like that. I promise it's a tax deductible charity, but it's here to look after the world, starting with me, and whatever's left can go to everyone else, not for profit.
Not for profit.
Just buy a house with it.
Exactly. With some concubines, they're got to be paid somehow. I'm spreading the wealth,
Dude, you had me cracking up recently with your buy the shift. How long has that been in production, and what is it?
Dude, I came up with the idea. When did it hit me? It all started off in late 2019, early 2020. I was kind of getting bored of the normal DCA. We built that product and then fucking Swan popped up and all these other DCA guys popped up and I was like, this is old. So I kind of wanted to do a better way of doing DCA. So we're kind of thinking of doing, dollar cost average by the minute or by the hour and all this kind of crap. And I thought, fuck, there's got to be a better way. So anyway, the two ideas that hit me were was buying the dip, because that's, everyone wants to buy the fucking dip, right? So I was like, can we automate that? And Peter Schiff as a contra indicator. And we came up with this extension to Amber called Amber Black, which is a subscription version of Amber where you just pay $10 a month. You can buy and sell as much as you want. So there's no fees on buys and sells. There's no spreads. It's super fucking tight. And that's kind of the logical reason to buy the subscription, but we thought we got to make it look and feel and function, more than just normal DCA. So yeah, the way Buy the Shift works is basically we built a bot to track and troll Peter Schiff. Every time he tweets with the hashtag Bitcoin, it buys you some Bitcoin. So I know my settings are basically, my buy the dip is every time Bitcoin drops 3% inside 12 hours, I buy $69 worth. And every time Peter Schiff tweets about Bitcoin, I buy $21. That's my two automations. So I don't do normal DCA anymore. I do augmented DCA. It's the fucking bomb.
Like that. It's meta.
So that's the idea. Yeah. Say that again.
It's meta. You're a potato.
Sounds very meaningful.
I didn't say anything.
How is it going long enough to give you any indications on how much you're performing versus a normal DCA with that?
Nah, it's still too new, man. It's only been out for 3-4 weeks. But I mean, I can tell you what, I'm buying way more Bitcoin than I was before.
Okay.
In fact, I'm so low on fucking fiat, it's not even funny. Because that motherfucker will tweet about Bitcoin 10 times a day and burn through my entire account. Actually, do you know what?
He might be doing it on purpose.
Man, I was buying all the way down. So I would have had more money to buy the dip, but I burnt through all my money all the way down. But anyway, it's kind of good because I'm buying all the way down and all the way back up. So it's useful. I'm going to tell my kids one day. So I'm going to dedicate one house to the scammers, one house to Peter Schiff.
By the time you're telling your kids, it's going to be so zoomed out, it's just going to look flat. There you go. We bought it all the way down.
Totally.
If you think about it, we can say that there is a Peter Schiff support level for them.
Yeah, that's what I want to do with this. Yeah, that's literally what I want to do with this feature.
What if his legacy is that support
God.
kind of level is named Peter Schiff, and that's his legacy?
The shift level. Yeah.
Shift moment. The shift moment.
Shift level.
The shift moment.
He tweeted about Bitcoin so much in one day, it saved Bitcoin from the worst dip ever.
Exactly.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. So if we can
Gold member.
accomplish that, let's fucking gold member. Exactly. Save Bitcoin. Thank you, Peter. Honestly, man, the guys, I want to do that. I want to do a couple to troll like central bankers and stuff like that as well. Then maybe we'll do one to like, every time fucking Sailor tweets about MicroStrategy buying, then, you'll buy some as well. But like change basically however much, because Michael Saylor buys, for every Satoshi we buy, that motherfucker buys a whole Bitcoin. So it's like, we bought 4,207 Bitcoin today. It's like, hey man, I bought 4,207 sats. Fuck you. So maybe we can like allow people to compete somehow. The plebs. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of things we want to build there.
I really appreciate.
So, that's that.
I really appreciate that Labra is honoring your Australian heritage.
Yeah.
With his avatar.
Oh
too.
yeah. I fucking love it. I mean, do you know what? That guy and like the other crocodile guy, what was his name? Steve Owen. That was like the last two Aussies with balls. The rest of them were fucking soys. So it's a shame.
What happened?
Shame.
That's millions of testicles. What happened?
I don't know, man. Complacency.
It turned.
Do you know
into
what?
guns.
Actually, yeah, it was that, but it's more than that, because all of the protests and all the riots and all the stuff that you see going on, well, actually that you don't see going on, but that is going on. Funny enough, it's actually happening from the generation, like, so in Australia, we have what are called WOGs, right? Which is second generation.
Hell yeah.
Okay, this motherfucker knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Wog Boy? You've seen The Wog Boy, right?
Of course, yeah.
Of course, okay. The greatest fucking movie ever made. Okay. So in Australia, the term WOG was a derogatory term, kind of emerged in the 70s, 80s, for children born to parents of Southern Mediterranean Europeans, basically. So Italians, Greeks, Macedonians, Serbians, Croatians, like all that shit that came to Australia in the 60s and 70s on the boats. And basically built modern Australia, right? Like they escaped the fucking communists. It was, post World War II, shithole USSR, fucking, influenced Balkan region. So they all ran away, went to a mixture of Australia, America, and Canada. But in Australia particularly, they called them the WOGs. And, our parents grew up tough, man. They went in, they fucking worked at factories and all this sort of shit. And we, the kids, grew up, like, I know me and my brother, for like, I think 3 or 4 years, my parents worked at this fucking factory that was like sorting food and groceries before it went to the supermarkets. And they both worked to, in order to be able to like sustain a family, but their hours didn't overlap very nicely. And we were too young. Like my brother was like 1.5 and I was like 2.5. So they would like, one parent would drive to the work while the other parent was working night shift or whatever. And then they'd go in and work and we would sleep in the fucking car for like 2, 3, 4 hours. So they'd like leave us in the car until the other parent finished and like drove us back home. And, that's how we lived for like multiple years. So, we grew up a little bit tougher than most of these fucking pussies these days. So when you look at the ones that are pushing back, well, actually, before I say that, so our generation, we grew up like with thicker skin and we kind of adopted the word WOG as a, almost as a badge of honor. We're like, okay, you're going to call us WOGs? Yeah, fuck you, we're WOGs. And we kind of, owned that. And an entire subculture kind of developed in Australia of like, WOGs. And I mean, you have your light side and your dark side. So, your light side is you got all the, guys with some fucking balls and shit like that. On the dark side, they all fucking half of them became gangsters. But really, the only people pushing back against all the stupidity that's happening in Australia is the fucking WOGs. All the other pussies that have been there for multiple generations, they grew up there, like,
the Brits.
Second, third, fourth, fifth. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, the Brits.
RD.
RD.
Chicken shit. So, yeah, you, motherfucker.
Unmute.
Unmute.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's
A point to make it a little bit clearer is that the generation of the parents that went and like as refugees to Australia, it's not like now that they just took the plane and went to Australia to work. When back then, when you were going to Australia, basically it was like a death. Like it was so far away, you took the ship and you went to Australia and then your family back never saw you.
Mhm,
Most of the
mhm.
times, never, or at least they will see you one more time in their lifetime. So it was a big deal, and it was such a powerful thing to do and difficult thing to do that basically a whole genre of music and art was created back in the Balkans in all those countries to basically express that hurt, that feeling, right? So
Yeah. Major historic moment, and yeah, it's interesting. It's it's part of the character of those people. So it's that's one thing I do miss about Australia is because you have those cultural influence because it's funny. Australia itself doesn't have a culture. It's just got multiple subcultures, right? And it's for me the best subcultures, like the best food, the best subcultures, the best the best groups, the people with the balls, all the hot chicks, like they all seem to be wogs, which is interesting. So
anyway,
The hot chicks are wogs. You got me there.
yeah, man, they're fucking babes, man. I'm telling you. I mean, look,
Let's go.
Swedish chicks are fucking hot too. So are Latinos.
Swedish?
Yeah, Swedish
They
chicks
are,
are
they
fucking
are.
hot, man. Yeah, man.
course.
Seriously. I dated this Swedish girl once, and I was like a walking head job. She was like 6'2", and I'm a midget, so like I would just like walk right into her vagine or into her bulbs. It was the best.
This is the quickest we've gone.
And then I hired her.
Do you have her number by
That
chance?
idea.
Still?
Not anymore. She ended up having a baby, but she's still fucking hot, man. She's like one of the hottest mums you'll ever see. Other than my current girlfriend, who when I finally like turn her into an oven and then a cow afterwards, with milk from the titties. You got to put these women to work, man. You know what? I was telling her that like when we have babies, I'm gonna headbutt the kid and take all the milk because I need it for like post workout, from the gym.
The kids got competition, huh?
That's it, man. I'm like, get out of here, cunt. But yeah, my
learn at a
my
young
current
age.
girlfriend, she'll be a real hot mom. She'll be a hot fucking mom.
who needs a protein bar?
Who needs a protein bar? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Me.
When you have mother's milk.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
Oh man.
This is
So you're
this is
dating.
going into all sorts of angles.
Sounds like you're dating, and Sean has Sean's got an important dating question.
Okay. Hit me.
All right. Well, I don't know how long you've been dating for,
Uh-huh.
but my question is, I'm sure you've been dating for less time than you've been buying Bitcoin, and
Yes.
you've kind of understood about Bitcoin. So my question is, when you're going on first dates with girls, what are you talking about? If your mind's going around Bitcoin all the time, what are you talking about on the first date?
You know what? I went on a rampage. So basically, so I'll tell you a funny story. In 2020, I had just, of course, typical me, started my nomad period of life in February of 2020. And about 4 weeks into being nomadic, I got locked down. So my timing was impeccable, just like everything else I do. Whenever I buy Bitcoin, I buy at the top. So I had just come back from Bali, and I had this like sort of 3 weeks with this chick. It was fucking amazing. And then I came back to Barcelona, and I hooked up with this chick, and I orange pilled her into Bitcoin. The bitch ended up in Ethereum, and I blocked her. But post that, I ended up, or she blocked me because she asked me about Ethereum, and I insulted her, and then she blocked. Sorry, so it was the other way around, but same thing. So anyway, what ended up happening was
hold on, I'm in Spain right now. Spanish
Okay.
women, very classy, timeless. Just want to put that out there.
Not
Okay.
in
they are
Spain,
indeed.
man.
They are indeed.
Just put it out there.
What Spain?
What?
Yellow? What were you
No,
saying about
I'm
Spain?
saying that he's not in Spain actually.
Yes.
Oh yeah, well I'm not in Spain anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Wait.
Yeah. I went to Germany, and then I got locked down in Germany. And while I was there, so I was there for 5 days, and it was just when, I don't know if you guys remember, like, I mean, I'm sure everyone remembers the big crash, you know, when the lockdown happened, March 12th or whatever, was a major crash and all this sort of shit happened. So I had been there, and I can't say all of this story because parts of it are, you know, kind of borderline, but I may or may not have purchased on the internet something that gives you a, you know, an elevated experience with this, and I was with this chick, and you know, we're playing music and hooking up, and someone had called the cops while I was in Berlin, and I thought it was because of my internet purchase, and I started packing shit, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get arrested and all this sort of stuff. Turns out that the cops were there just because of apparently loud music, and this whole sort of fiasco happened, and you know, the girl at the time when the cops came up, she wasn't there. But then the next day, the landlord kicked me out of my Airbnb, and this girl, like, I was supposed to be flying out of Berlin, but the flight got cancelled, and she calls me up. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna catch up again," and I was like, "Bitch, I just got kicked out of the fucking place. I'm almost getting liquidated on my Bitcoin. My fucking my BitNex long got fucking liquidated. My life's about to end. Like, it was gonna be a fucking disaster, right?" And so she's like, "That's okay. Just come stay at my place for a couple of days." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, it'll be fine. You book another place." So anyway, I go to stay at her place for a couple of days. And on the second day, she comes back from work, and her face is like, you know, got shock. And I'm like, "What happened?" She's like, "We got a problem." I was like, "Okay, what the fuck's the problem?" And she said, someone at work had COVID, so I put our name down for quarantine." I was like, you what?" And she's like, it's okay. It's only 2 weeks, and you know, there's room here. You can stay with me.
Okay.
Thinking in my head, I'm like, "Bitch, you don't even fucking know who I am."
I'm getting misery vibes now. Classic.
Misery.
Yeah.
Just survived.
So anyway, this happens, and
She's like,
in the
"Yeah, but
first-
you can stay with me, locked down for 2 weeks."
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take
That's
care
what
of you.
That's what happened. Anyway, it turns out this bitch is like a crazy communist, and I'm like, you know, trying to clean up my life because I almost lost all my Bitcoin through like liquidation because I had to borrow dollars against my Bitcoin, all this sort of stuff. It was a disaster of a period. And I'm like working my ass off, like sorting everything out, you know, with work, with this and that. And I'm just like, as I always do, I'm working all the time. I'm working or I'm writing. And that's when I had my, you know, did that podcast the first time with Pete Dumbass McCormack, trying to say that, hey, if the lockdowns start now, we'll be locking down for the rest of fucking history. And he was like, "No, we must make, you know, the government has to do something," right? And she starts saying things like, "We have to fucking, the government needs to lock everyone down until we beat this virus." And I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, "People need to work, they need to eat." She's like, "That doesn't matter." I'm like, "Well, food matters, like, you know." And she's like, "Doesn't matter, the government will pay for it." I'm like, "Where does the government get the money from?" She's like, "Well, that doesn't matter either." I'm like, "Well, it doesn't fucking matter to you because you're at home, you got some money from the government, and your parents are fucking paying for your rent. Like, that's why it doesn't matter for you." And it's always these commies, like, it's always these fucking, you know, little trust fund babies whose parents are rich, they give them everything for free, that, you know, believe that they should impose their rules on everyone. So anyway, what started off as like a fling turned into me living in this bitch's place and we both wanting to kill each other. And then I refused to have sex with her, and then she got really angry. And then anyway, it got really, really awkward. And finally, I found another place and I escaped. And then what I did was I decided to dedicate the next 2 years of my life to basically having sex with as many women as possible and seeing how many of them I could orange pill. And I can say I had about a 40% success rate. 40% of the women I dated, I, you know, got them to buy some Bitcoin.
You gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
They are rookie numbers, except I did slay. I think I
Hold on.
more women in 1 year.
No. This begs the question, Sean. Have you calculated your orange pill percentage?
No. I haven't slept with anyone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if you're gonna claim these are
He's a
rookie
virgin.
numbers, you got to
What?
back it up, right?
Sean had a virgin boating accident.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is probably going to get me cancelled as well. Not all the girls were ready for Bitcoin, intellectually speaking. Only some. of them were.
Wait. What are we talking about now? I'm confused. They weren't ready for Bitcoin. Is that like a double meaning thing?
Yeah, let's just say that not all the girls in Tinder are like the sharpest tools in the shed. So it's not
okay.
the selection pool is not of high intellectual integrity at all times. I mean, some of them really were. So anyway, to
I
answer
thought you
your
were
question,
saying
that's a
something
really
else.
really roundabout way of answering the question of what do I say at dates is that depending on the intelligent quotient of the female that I'm dating, I will discuss Bitcoin. And hasn't got me into any trouble yet. Like I know a story about a guy who was like dating some chick in Costa Rica and she knew that it was a Bitcoiner. Motherfucker got kidnapped. They ransomed a bunch of Bitcoin out of him. And then they killed him, which like jokes
The
aside,
fuck?
that's some fucked up shit. Yeah.
Oh,
Some really
Jesus
fucked up shit.
Christ.
So yeah,
that's kind of
Clearly I
crazy
haven't been
because
killed.
it's funny because I know we're talking about some weird stuff right now, but I was last year when I was in Spain as well. There's this I matched with a girl on Tinder. I use Tinder every once in a while, and the first thing
Grindr.
start talking.
Grinder.
Yeah, it was
Grindr or
Grindr.
Tinder?
I
Is it
can't
Grindr?
remember. It was either it might have been
It
a
was
guy on
Grindr.
Grindr.
Sean gets those
Yep.
confused.
Yeah, I
Yep.
get them. Either way.
It was
So
the guy
I
with
was-
tits.
Jeez.
What? Who said that? Labra, come on. Man.
It was either Peter McCormack or David Portnoy, one of those guys.
You know the screen lights up when you
So-
talk, right?
I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. Go on.
Jeez. So I matched with this girl and we started talking, and then like it got to the point where we exchanged numbers. And the first thing she talks to me is she's like, "Oh, I've been looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these different things." And she like sent me this like a 2-minute long message about crypto.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, I don't know when I got super spooked because I was like, why like this has never happened to me before. Like a girl doesn't just start talking to me about Bitcoin
Mhm,
like when I
mhm.
first started talking to her." So I was like,
That shit's a trap.
I was
man.
like, oh, Bitcoin's like a scam, isn't it? You know, I totally avoided it and I didn't see her. And then
That's
and
like
then
some
we-
Steven Seagal fucking, Aikido shit there, man. Like,
yeah.
you like dodge the fucking bullet. They were like, this guy's a prime kidnap fucking candidate, and boom.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
this doesn't
that
sound.
shit.
I was like, something sounds off right now. So I got a little spooked at that one. But
Have you
you never
had?
know.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the thing. So like these days, I mean, I've kind of changed my tune. Like, I mean, now I have a serious girlfriend. I think like I've done all my fucking messing around and stuff like that. And these days I've changed my tune completely. I don't talk to anyone about fucking Bitcoin anymore. Like, people ask me about Bitcoin. What the fuck is that? I don't say anything because, especially after I heard this story about Costa Rica, because I was the same dumb motherfucker who went to Costa Rica, and I'm sitting there telling all these fucking bitches, about Bitcoin, and luckily I'm still here. But I mean, I honestly think like the more we move forward in time, especially idiots like me who've made a public, nuisance out of themselves and been quite vocal about Bitcoin. Jokes aside, like it's a fucked up world out there, man. And like starvation is a bitch. Like, people's motivations, evolve and adapt and can get pretty fucking sketchy out there, man. So, you best off losing
I always
all your
think about
Bitcoin.
that. I think about that with anons, because I'm not anonymous either. And sometimes I get like a little worried, which maybe that's just an honest thing.
Yeah, me
But I
too.
always think about too, like, yeah, yellow. I was thinking about like, well, what about people who are already super rich right now, like like an Elon Musk or something? and people could kidnap his kids at any moment, and
Yeah,
that
but
stuff
there's-
doesn't happen. You know?
Yeah, but okay, I've thought about this, but see, Elon Musk spends money on, security and all this sort of shit. Bitcoin rich people are too fucking stingy because we want to save sats, so we'd rather not spend any money on no fucking security.
I have my own
And
gun.
that's why we get fucking killed.
But not only that, but like guys like Elon Musk have all their money to stuff that cannot be
Can't be pulled out, exactly right.
Yeah, because they're centralized. So
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword.
No, it really is. It really is. Yeah, it's much easier to get Bitcoin out of someone via ransom than it is to like get them to sign over. Like what's someone going to do? Elon, it's like sign me over your Tesla shares.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and he's going to call up Nasdaq and he'll just sign it back over.
There's a
whereas
whole
you
like
send your Bitcoin, you're fucked.
boardroom of lawyers that would say, no.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the answer. Give your keys to all the lawyers.
You said
Is that why Sailor? Yeah, is that why Sailor keeps all his corn on Coinbase?
I mean, maybe, like there may be some fucking reasoning around that, is because like self-custodying that much fucking Bitcoin, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I mean, if I was the CIA, I'd be picking that motherfucker up straight away. But it's a little bit harder to pick up Coinbase. So
Yeah, because they already have them.
yeah.
Coinbase is the CIA. Come on, we already know.
Probably. I
Coinbase
mean,
wrecked.
if Coinbase is the CIA, fucking Michael Saylor's the CIA's number one asset. That's another fucking theory.
Sailor is a double agent. We flipped him.
Yeah, or it could be a triple agent. Maybe we think we flipped him.
Oh
but,
shit.
Yeah.
God damn it.
dude, you mentioned people getting squirrely when they're starving. Do you think we're going to see starving people in the U.S.?
Totally. I think someone asked me recently, I think it was Natalie Brunell or something. She's like, when does all this stupidity end? And I just wrote back a one-line answer, which is starvation. Because that's, I mean, I know we've been joking the whole time and everything, but like Bitcoin's a serious thing, and like all the stuff that's happening in the world, like as much as we can laugh about it and make memes about it, and that's genuinely what we should do. Like I think one of the most important ways to prove a fraud is to ridicule the shit out of the clowns, so that everyone just basically views them as a joke, and then when they're no longer taken seriously, they lose power. But serious, like speaking in an intelligent, like or a more serious fashion, like Europe's a great example of something that's going to go to the fucking shit basket quicker than probably America. And that is like they've turned off all their energy assets, and now they're completely dependent on the Russians. And the Americans, this is the funny part, like the Americans are like, hey, you need to turn on the gas for the Europeans. And then on the next fucking breath, they're like, if you turn on the gas for the Europeans, we're going to sanction you.
Yep.
It's like, fuck, man, this fucking world is retarded. And the problem is, it's like people are literally like in Europe going to start freezing to death and dying of starvation and shit. And the same thing's probably going to end up happening here in fucking Canada and everything. But the politicians and the idiots making the decisions for this stuff, they don't care. They've still got, their heaters and, everything's still working. They still got their food. They still got everything. So they don't feel any of the consequences for any of the decisions that they're making. And that's what really, I guess, is, that's why I wrote that recent piece about, Bitcoin is not democratic. And I really, I'm looking forward to the debate Gladstein again on this shit, because it's like democracy is the biggest fucking scam ever. Like if we think communism and socialism and fascism were bad, at least those things had such a degree of incompetence that they imploded like within a decade or two. Like democracy has the capacity to fucking last and basically enslave everyone and turn society into ruling the competent, rule of the competent by the fucking incompetent, or as Osho says, like, rule by the retarded. And that's what we've got now, is we've got like lemmings everywhere who believe that health is the process of wearing 69 fucking masks, 34 injections, eating Uber Eats and fucking watching Netflix and fucking Abdul on virtual reality. So we've got these people thinking that, Klaus Schwab and everything like that are good decision makers and good stewards of resources. And there is no fucking consequence at that level and no consequence at the lemming level. So idiots like you and me have to pay for everything, and it distorts everything until the whole shit breaks and we get starvation, we get people dying of being frozen. And then you and I get blamed because we bought Bitcoin and we're somehow rich, and it's Bitcoiners' fault for, boiling the oceans, even though everyone's freezing. Like, they'll tell us we're boiling the ocean while they're freezing. Like, that's the irony of it. So anyway, that's a long way of saying yes, starvation, unfortunately.
By what mechanism does a democracy turn into a rule of the how did you put it?
Rule of the retarded.
Or
the rule of the competent by the incompetent. It's okay. A couple mechanisms. Number one is first of all, you have this idea of representative government, which is a scam, because representative government, like, let's use the recent American election as an example. So if we were to believe that the election wasn't a scam, which it was, half of the population did not want to be ruled or represented. Let's just not use the word rule. Let's just say represented by Biden and friends. And of those, half of them literally went out and voted the opposite way. But because of the way democracy is structured, this half of the people who either A, wanted to just be left alone, or B, wanted the opposite, still are now represented by someone who they didn't want to be represented by. So by default, it's circular logic. It's not a fucking representative government. That's a government who enforces. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, the people who you didn't want to represent you and you didn't want to have anything to do with now have the unilateral power to take 40, 50, 60, 70% of what you make through direct taxation and then inflate the rest of it away. So it's first you didn't want to do anything with this guy, you even voted against him, and then he stole everything from you and you can't say anything about it. So you're left with basically two options. One, be a slave, or two, join the racket and build up your own fucking majority to go and enslave everybody else, and kind of fight back against it. And what it does is it devolves the world into, instead of people focusing on being productive, competent individuals who vote for what they want by where they, spend their money. That's the only vote that matters. It becomes this game of fucking politicking where the people who rise to the top are the ones who can make enough minorities feel sorry for themselves, promise them enough to build up enough of a majority to then get enough votes so that they can go and take the wealth from the few that are producing stuff and hand it out to everyone else. So the democratic business model works like this. Greg, you have $2 and the rest of the guys have nothing. So I'm going to take $1 from you and I'm going to give each of them 15 cents and I'm going to pocket the balance. And I'm going to tell you, I'll protect you from them. And I'm going to tell them that he's got another $1. And if you vote me in again, I can take half of that too. So it's so what ends up happening is I lose one vote, I gain 5. And, I keep this constant tension through politicking. So it literally just, it devolves into the worst of what humans are capable of. It's fucking disgusting.
So what do you replace it with?
You replace it okay. First of all, you make it so that no one can amass disproportionate wealth by printing their way into it or forcibly taxing it. So obviously Bitcoin severs that. But more importantly is when you can't forcibly tax, you're kind of left with two scenarios. Is that the relationship the governed and the government have at the moment is a overlord subject relationship. So as I said, I'm represented by someone who I don't want to be represented with, and they take all my shit and I can't do anything about it. So it's that's an overlord subject relationship. Bitcoin changes it because the government can't take my Bitcoin. You know, they can't do shit about it. They can't inflate it. They can't borrow from the future for it. So they're kind of stuck. So that means if you want to be a governor of any kind, you need to provide a service in kind. So what ends up happening is it changes the relationship of the governed and the governors from subject overlord to customer service provider. So we'll still have forms of government. The thing is, they won't be able to get as big as they are today because it's impossible to feasibly economically run a representative, you know, institution at scale. Like it'll go bankrupt. And on Bitcoin, the most beautiful thing is if you're fucking stupid, you go bankrupt. Like, so, you know, I look forward to the day that the Winklevi, who are actually stupid and got lucky, I look forward to the day when they lose all their Bitcoin. That'll be fucking fantastic.
That'd be
so.
Let's take a moment and acknowledge that Craig basically asked, so what's the problem with the world? Oh, this. How you fix it? How you fix it? Just explain to us.
Just fix it. Just tell me. Tell me how to fix it.
I mean, you asked the right man, so I will become the leader of the free world.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll solve all your problems.
Crocodile.
Yeah,
Hide
you
your
fix
daughters.
it by electing Svetsky. My name means of the world.
The Winklevi have 2 Bitcoins, and I can get one of them and split it between all of you.
Svetsky 2024.
Exactly.
First, you have to beat my crocodile.
No, first he has to come to the halving party.
Which having party?
What do you mean,
Wait,
which
hold
having
on.
party?
Oh,
Having party.
Hit him.
Wait, hold
The
on.
Meme Factory.
Uh.
Meme Factory 2024 having party.
Like, is that happening? Is that a thing?
Of course.
Block height, Sean. Block height, Sean.
Yeah, what block head,
Guess
Sean?
what?
Chicken
Block
butt.
height, 840,000. That's 840,000.
Bet you didn't know he spoke
ay,
Russian.
ay, ay.
Incredible.
Hey, but no, it's speaking seriously. We're having a party 2024. You're invited.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not sure where you're gonna be in the world, but you are definitely invited to the party. It's gonna be a blast.
Thank you, sir.
We got the best people coming because you'll be there.
Do you want me to bring girls or what?
Yes.
I mean, you can bring whoever you want. Bring
Okay.
if you got girls. You know that Yellow needs a little bit of loving. So
Yes.
Everyone needs some loving. So good. That'll be my contribution to
I gotta spread my sats.
yeah, there will be Coca-Cola there.
Oh,
And Red Bull.
that's not the kind of drugs he was talking
Lots
about.
of Red Bull.
He ordered Robitussin. Right, so if we can recap, you ordered Robitussin online, got kicked out of your Airbnb, starred in a remake of Misery, and what happened after that? And Amber.
Umber.
Then by the shift.
He met a girl named Amber.
Oh, you met
basically.
then you met a girl you want to turn into a baking appliance.
Indeed. Baking appliance that also, you know, like you can slow cook meat. You can do everything in there. It's amazing.
Okay, and vote Svetsky 2024 because I get the Winklevi Bitcoin.
That's
Yep.
it. That's it.
Every huddle in the chat says bring Bob's to the party.
Bring Bob's.
I will bring Bobs. I will bring plenty of Bobs. That's my job.
This is actually how Amber makes money. In case this is how you can support no spreads. Spreads come elsewhere.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
So anyway, we've solved, you know, the problems of humanity in this podcast. I think
Yes.
quite a successful, you know, show. What else have we done?
What happens to Red Bull in a Bitcoin standard world?
Ooh.
Asking for a friend.
What happens to Red Bull? I mean,
Is it fiat?
yeah, I think it's fiat, man. I mean, look, I'm a bit of a weirdo, so you know,
Oh, shit.
you may not have noticed. But see, I don't actually drink alcohol. I don't drink soft drinks. I don't drink coffee, and I don't take any drugs. Like the only thing I've ever tried is weed and mushrooms. But
And Robitussin.
so yeah, I think and that whatever that is. So I think yeah, I think Red Bull goes broke, man. Yeah, unfortunately, no Red Bull. Adios, ciao.
It's a big shame.
Or yellow.
I'm using my crying Roger Ver faces to express myself now.
Man, do you know what? Like, when we look back on this shit 30, 40 years from now, it's going to be hilarious, like, thinking about what kind of a fucking storyline the emancipation of humanity was. Like, Roger Ver, like, we were talking about Craig Wright earlier today. I was like, what the fuck must be going through that guy's mind? Like, imagine, like, what does he tell himself? Like,
You saw the sword clip, right?
I know.
Oh.
Right? That was,
He clearly thinks he's amazing, right? He might think he invented it at this point.
maybe he does. Like, yeah, it's possible that this guy, like, actually, I mean, that or fucking, he was really Satoshi and he got a lobotomy and that's what's left.
Do you have 37 degrees? He's a
Wait,
doctor.
what?
Do you have
Oh, yeah,
37 degrees? Because he's a doctor.
I heard
Of
that
course. What else?
I heard
did he invent?
he invented the wheel.
Oh,
Is that
He
true?
invented everything apparently. He
And the
invented the
katana
sword.
sword.
Yeah.
And the
Hey,
fire.
the dogs think the same.
It's
man.
crazy, man. It's such an obvious scam that he does. Like he like produces a new degree every month. Like, dude, we know those online universities and we know how you get those degrees. We're not that stupid. Like, we get it. Like, you go there in the site, you pay them, you get a degree. We know about this.
I mean, are you talking about the Fiverr.com, Photoshop degree, or are we talking about?
no, the one you just pay for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Professional.
Yeah.
Technically, it's a legit like institution, but like you get the degree by paying.
All right. I want to make sure RD's got some time to get his question in here. RD, are you still with us?
Yeah, mate.
Mate. Hey, mate.
Hanging
He
in, mate.
unmuted.
Great.
This is
What's
amazing.
going on?
Hey, are they in it?
Hey, man.
In it.
I've
Did
lost
it?
my
Speak, buddy.
notes. I've lost my notes, so I'm just gonna have to wing it tonight. Okay, man.
Hit me.
If the meme factory did exist, and we all know it doesn't, who would you like? Who would you retweet? And who would you mute?
Okay.
Loading.
I mean, I love all the non-existent characters of the meme factory, so I think I'd like all of them. There's for once in my life, I'm not being discriminatory.
So that's the safest thing you said all night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that was a very PC answer.
It was.
Most
It
people
was.
say "fuck you, Greg" when that question comes up.
We got a
Oh,
meter.
really?
We got a meter answer out of Gladstein.
What did you get out of Gladstein?
A whole interview.
No. The answer. What do you... Okay, fuck Greg then. All right.
Now we're talking.
Let's go.
That's
the
what he
right
was looking for. Someone today on Twitter gave Greg a compliment. And then Greg responded, "Cry harder."
Well, he was.
It was.
The fucking best.
It's like we all know exactly why everybody says "fuck you, Greg" because of shit
Yes.
like that. Like the dude was complimenting him. He said,
Yeah, but
"Cry harder."
he was complimenting me and talking shit to the other Bitcoin maxis.
Fuck you, Greg.
Not
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
All right, man. You got any questions for any of us before we close this one out?
Or a shout out you wanna do?
I was gonna, Yellow. Are you actually? I mean, I don't know if you're even allowed to dox yourself, but I was just curious. Actually, I'm not gonna even ask the question. I think I know.
Do it.
No, I was gonna see if you'll need the Acropolis. or the whatever the fuck it's called, the
Yeah,
the nice architecture in Athens. That's where you are, yeah?
yeah.
Beautiful spot. I remember being there a couple of years ago. Is it a shit show over there as well, or
Yeah, it kind of is. It's getting worse.
fucking malakas, man? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're
Insane.
they're getting like €100 automatically, and they bill you in the tax agency when like a month pass and you're not vaccinated over 60. So
Mhm.
they create debt if you're not like.
Fucking crazy. I was hoping at least that part of the world, because it's a fucking, like you would think the Balkans wouldn't like, cuck so easily, but fucking bunch of like all the ones who wouldn't be cucks, they left the fucking region,
They're
left
wogs.
with a bunch of idiots.
Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Serbia is way better, and Albania. But like here in Greece, man, you gotta understand, like it's like 10 years after brutal reform, so we're like a new entity, modernized and like PC and clean now. We're their success story for them. So you gotta understand what that comes from with.
Fucking shit. All right. Well, anyway, okay. My only shout out is gonna be the new edition of the Bitcoin Times. That's I can't believe I didn't mention it. I mean, I kind of mentioned it in the beginning, but that's like, Yellow's written for it 5 out of 4 times so far, apparently.
Oh, Yellow.
Yeah, Yellow.
But seriously, it's
He's going parabolic on that thing.
It was great.
It's the best fucking content out there. Like, at least what I think. It's just, especially this year, to blow smoke up my own ass. Like, I think I wrote the best piece I've ever written. It's like called Fire Bitcoin Teleportation. And it's kind of like a big brain view on like what the fuck actually Bitcoin means for a sentient species like humanity. So it's like way bigger than just money. So anyway, it's like a big piece. And then Brandon Quittam's piece is fucking amazing. It's called Bitcoin as a pioneer species, and the premise of it is like looking at Bitcoin through the lens of ecology, which means there is a set of species called pioneer species that go to barren land where there's no life, and they're able to sustain and basically sprout life there, and then other organisms build around them. And like, if you think about Bitcoin, and particularly Bitcoin mining, it can go to places where you can't harness energy and you can't extract energy, you can't do any of that sort of stuff. And around the miners, you can start to build industry, community, and a city. So it's like really good fucking piece. And there's a couple other writers. So
like
anyway.
the mycelium, the mushroom network all over Earth.
It's kind of like that, but I think it's better than his mycelium piece.
Yeah, it's more like a lichen.
Anyway,
grows. It'll grow in a rock, break it down, turn it into useful things.
Exactly right. That's the whole point. So a miner is like a lichen. Yeah.
Cool.
Where can people? So the BTC Times. Where can people go read that? Just
so if they go to Twitter, it's Timeless Bitcoin. That's the handle. Or BitcoinTimes.news. And couldn't get a fucking better dot. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, anyway, it's not fucking news.
Talk to Pedro. Yeah.
Pedro has all the domains you need.
Okay, I'll hit him up.
All right, man.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on, man. You want to tell
Thanks
people
for
where they
coming,
can
man.
find you other than the Bitcoin Times?
Yeah, me, Ghost of Svetsky on Twitter. That's about it. And then, if they want to stack some Bitcoin and buy the shift, amber.app. That's the place to go for that.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
man.
Dude.